today with us Kelly, and she is going to answer some of my questions. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Kelly, what was your life like before?
I had a really good life growing up. Middle class, had everything I wanted, loving parents. And then my dad died in 2005. And that I started using pills first, and then heroin and crack, cocaine, whatever I could get my hands on. And I ended up on the streets of Buffalo, working the streets. So I did that for about 5 years. And I was malnourished down to 90 pounds. I OD'd several times. Got pregnant. 2 of my children got adopted out because I couldn't take care of them at that time. So it was just really, really bad.
So what made the change in your, like what was the turning point in your life from that?
I was with an abusive man the whole time I was on the streets. And I finally woke up one morning and I said, I've had enough. So I left with just the clothes on my back and just left him. And I realized that I wanted something better for myself. So after that, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter when I met my boyfriend, Tony, that I'm with now. And when I found out it was a girl, I wanted her. I wanted to raise her. So I just said enough is enough. And I went through outpatient and all the programs that I had to do to keep her.
And she's a doll.
Yeah.
She is a doll. She is a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. I would hope that this isn't going to be the last interview. And you know why, Kelly? Because there's so many young girls out there that are going through what you went through.
Yes.
I remember at the one soup kitchen, not here, but at another soup kitchen, a girl came in with a big black eye. And I've been through that myself, 12 years of it. And I went up to this girl and I said, honey, if you ever want to talk, because I know when I was going through things, I wanted to talk to somebody.
Right.
And nobody listened.
Right.
They were all too busy. And she looked at me and she says, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, your eye. She says, I walked into a door. And I said, oh my God, do you know how many doors I walked into?
Right.
And then once I got my finger broken, and it was like, oh, and this is the excuse, oh, you know, the kitchen door, the cupboard door, I opened it, and something fell and broke my finger. And everybody's like, oh, and that's terrible. And the truth was, that wasn't the way it happened.
Right.
But I would hope, like really think about this, but I would hope that you would do more of these and we'll direct it to the girls. Younger girls, like 14, 13, 14, 12, 13, 14. These girls are coming up thinking it's cool to dress a certain way, to get involved. Get involved, thinking, well, this is great, he loves me, he loves me. And it's really a phony life, you know, it really is when it all boils down. So what is your plans now? You've got your little girl.
Yes.
And I'm going to be putting some pictures on here. Yeah, she's sweet. But what is your plans from now on?
I want to go to school. I'm working to get a car and would like to buy a house. Maybe have another child down the road. But everything's positive and it takes a long time, but it's coming together slowly.
So Kelly needs a car.
Yeah.
So so if there's anybody out there, we can give you a tax receipt for this. If you would like to donate a car to Kelly, I totally recommend this girl. I have watched her for years and I love her. She's genuine. If you have an extra car laying around and you want to get rid of it and it's in good shape, half decent, really good shape, here's a girl that really needs it, and she does need it. So give us a call, please. And so you want to go back to school?
Yes.
So your future is actually a good future.
Yeah.
It's getting a house. And maybe someone has a house they don't want.
Right.
You don't know. I know people. I remember years ago I had like a couple of vans in the driveway, and this guy came along and said, you know, oh, my van's no good and this and that. I says, wait a minute, we got an extra one.
Right.
And we just signed it over to him and gave it to him. So you can get maybe a house like that or a car like that or anything like that, because it happens. It happens. And you know, Kelly, the one thing too, God honors people that don't want to live that lifestyle, and he blesses us. He blesses us, you know. Is there anything you would have to say to, say, young girls out there?
Don't go on the streets. It's fun in the beginning. The money's great. You can do what you want. There's no responsibilities, but you end up torn up. I have so many health problems now from using and being on the streets, and it's not worth it. Especially now, they're mixing fentanyl with heroin, and people are ODing and dying left and right.
Yeah.
And if I was still using, I would have been one of those. I would have been one of the girls that died.
Yeah. Yeah. It's terrible.
So when I left the streets, it started with one girl that ended up with HIV. But in our little circle of working girls, by the time I left in 2010, 5 of them had it.
Wow.
So,
And then they'll
young
probably,
20-year-olds.
yeah, and they'll be giving it to their
Right.
Johns.
Exactly.
So the men, and I'll address this to the men,
Yeah.
you men in the suburbs who come down to the hood to pick up a girl,
With your wife and kids at home.
that's right, telling your wife you're going for a little drive, or you're going for some cigarettes, or you're going to go and down to the office to check your paperwork or something. A lot of these girls have AIDS.
Yes.
And, you know.
Or hepatitis. If they're an IV drug user, they have hepatitis. It's about a 90% chance.
Yeah.
But there's men that pull over with their infant son or daughter in the backseat to pick up girls, and it's
That's
not
sad.
good.
That's sad. We should really, you know, this program is called Keeping It Real. We should maybe get into the keeping it real part of it.
yeah.
It's we got lots of stories, you know, because that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. And then what really bothers me, here's this loving wife at home,
Yeah.
thinking I am married to the best man, you know, that ever could be. He would never do that to me. And of course he is. And then she's finding herself maybe a few years down the road sick,
Yeah.
not knowing what happened.
Yeah.
How did I get AIDS? Like I never did anything. And you know, it all comes out. It all comes out. So to the women that, you know, here's another thing to the women in the suburbs, maybe not all the suburbs, but to the women in the suburbs who's, you know, check on your husbands once in a while and just make sure in a loving way, but just kind of, you know, I would take it before God and pray for one thing, but make sure that you're not picking up something
Yeah.
because he's out getting his jollies. And, you know, that's
Just when you go for your yearly exam, women get tested for everything just to make sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. Well, thank you, Kelly, and I hope you'll come back. I
Yes.
really do. I hope you will, and we'll concentrate on these young girls that really think it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, really try to help because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we will see you again on Keeping It Real.